Ladies and gentlemen, I have never heard and seen Mpho, Dagada this angry before.
Or get emotional about this matter, but we can't be a continent that is known that every time there is elections in Africa, there are always issues. We can't be a continent that is known that every time there's elections in Africa, they'll always rig the elections, they'll steal the elections. We can't be a continent where when young voices rise up and they want to see change in the nation, we get things like this that are thrown at them to keep them off the ballot paper. We can't allow this to happen. The only political parties that are currently represented on the ballot paper, they are all funded by the same people. It's the same people that funded the apartheid government. They funded those political parties on the ballot paper. We were the only political party that's there that's not funded by this white monopoly capital that we know. And to remove us on the eve of the election is completely unacceptable. I want to say this.
The IEC has pissed off the youngest presidential hopeful candidate, the president of Arise SA, Mpho Dagada. The 30-year-old is losing his mind because the IEC has taken his political party out of the national ballot. Let's speak about that and much more.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Black Heart, the hustle continua. 100% good quality t-shirts, made to inspire your goals and dreams. T-shirts are now available at an affordable price. Place your order now. 068-473-6908. Instagram at Black7576. Facebook page Black Heart.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Says So. I am your host, King 053, Mr. Easy Imali Enengenenge. And oh my God, is Mpho Dagada losing his mind. He's angry. He's angry, rightfully so. You know, the party has managed to get the required signatures that the IEC asked for. They actually managed to get more than 100,000 signatures. There was some faults in some of the signatures. You know, they gave them about 10 days to gather those signatures throughout the different provinces. And but 65,000 of those signatures were sharp. And the IEC, when they released the first list of the parties that will be competing for National Assembly in the national ballot, Arise SA was there on the ballot. Then the exact next day, they took them out. Arise SA took the IEC to task and took them to court, to the electoral court, to say, listen, these people have taken us out of the national ballot paper, stating an administrative error. That's what they're saying to them. So now we are asking them, what was the error? Why did you take us out? Why are we not being put back? If you are admitting that it was an administrative error from your side, then it means you need to put us back. Rise Mzansi went to the IEC office and picketed outside, striking, protesting, wanting to be back on the national ballot paper. They are on the provincial ballot papers. The IEC, then the matter was taken to the, like I said, to the electoral court, and now the electoral court the courts have come up with the judgment. And this judgment, they bundled it with 5 other political parties' judgment. So they took care of 5 matters at the same time. This is crazy, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. But don't just hear from me. Listen to the judgment. Mpho Dagada went on social media, on YouTube to be exact, to speak to his people. And because your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Imali follows Arise Mzansi, Arise SA, I heard this and I was like, I need to show my people this. This is wrong. Listen to this judgment.
there is a court ruling. And I'm going to share the court ruling and show everybody the court ruling so that everybody's aware of what the court ruling was. And let me just share my screen so that everybody is able to see the court ruling. But we were sent through this court ruling today. And what the court did, if you can see my screen, you'll be able to see the court ruling that is displayed on my screen. Let me try and enlarge it so that everybody's able to see the court ruling. Here it is. This is the court ruling that we received. Now, we received this today. It is from the Electoral Court of South Africa, the Supreme Court in Bloemfontein, as I've already mentioned. And what this document basically does is it groups all the cases. So it says that in the matter between Arise South Africa and the Electoral Court, case number 1, and gives us a case number. But what it also does is it groups the second case, the third case, and the fourth case as well, and the fifth case, because there were actually 5 cases that were similar but not the same that went over to the IEC and took the IEC to court. Now, this is the judgment that was given. The order, it says, having heard counsel for the parties in the above 5 opposed applicants, having read the papers filed of record and having considered these matters, the following identical order is made in each of the above 5 applications under the separate case numbers. The application is dismissed with no order as to costs. Reason for these orders are to follow very shortly. Now, what you can see is that this was sent to us today. We only received it about 30 minutes ago. We received it just before 5 o'clock today. Now, this is the judgment that the Supreme Court of Appeal has given to Rise South Africa with the matter that we raised with them. Before I get to any comments, I see that there's a lot of people that might not know this, and I want to start by showing them the video of what we said, because that video basically summarizes why we went to court and what was said.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, Mpho Dagada is furious. Uyahlanya. The young brother from Limpopo is crazy. He's going crazy about this. And rightfully so. You know, he's just 30 years old, currently 29 years old. Will be turning 30 very soon. He wants to be on the National Assembly, the NA. He needs to be on the national ballot paper for him in order to go to parliament. What does it help to compete and get all these votes every province, but you don't have a representative in parliament? Bayambulala. Arise Mzansi is not going to be on the national ballot paper. They are fighting. And they've got your boy who advocate Mpho on their side fighting for them. You know, I hope they'll get it right. But as we have heard, the IEC is already printing the ballot papers, already sending them to the different type of storage facilities where they will be saved, guarded and everything. But Mpho Dagada is not having any of it. I'm about to play you a clip that is full of so much passion, that is full of so much anger, that's full of so much hunger for South African politics. Listen, Mpho Dagada is on fire. He's on fire. And the boy is dropping bars. He's just talking truth. You know, the IEC this year, they've dropped the ball. And they have warned those who have signed the passity, what do they call it? The code of conduct, that they must not say anything bad about the IEC. They've warned him also, stating that some people will be jailed for speaking bad against the IEC and the processes of the IEC. And I guess that applies to us also as content creators. But the IEC this year has dropped the ball. They have dropped the ball. What type of administrative error makes you put a party on a national ballot, then remove them the next day? All the other matters are treated with agencies of the big parties. But these new emerging parties are suffering because they are unknown. And Mpho Dagada is having none of that. He's absolutely having none of that. You know, and as a young man myself, I'm a little bit older than him with a few years. I'm supporting this man. I'm supporting Arise SA. I'm supporting this party because I want justice and fairness to apply to all the political parties. It is unfair that just imagine any list that is good. You see a matric pass list and your name is there, the next day is not there. You know, you see a list of the names of people that are employed, your name is there. The next day when they read the list, your name is not there. Anywhere, you know, there are people that are backing this political party. Clearly so. They've got enough signatures. They managed to raise the funds. How much are they paying? Hundreds of thousands to register to participate on a national platform, on a national ballot paper. They've done everything required from their side. All the answer they are getting is what is the word that the judgment says? They're dismissing dismissal with no order. Dismissal with no order. It is a shame what is happening in the IEC this year. It is a shame. It is a shame. The IEC actually is the one who's supposed to be fighting for these small parties to be on the ballot paper if they meet the requirements. There's 4 other political parties. What is the name? The Labours, whatever. They are struggling to be on the ballot paper. Others are fighting a different case. They are completely not on any, not even on provincial, nothing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play you a video. Listen, I was watching this video of Mpho Dagada informing his people. And I was like, okay, I'm listening to him on my earpiece, you know, just listening, doing my things. Out of nowhere, Mpho Dagada goes from 0 to 200 in 1 second. And I'm like, why? What is going on here? And then I started listening, and I was like, oh my God, I hear you, Mpho. I was like, oh my God, I hear you, Mpho. This is truly unfair for your party. This is unfair for your followers. It's unfair for us even who are not part of Arise SA, who are watching, who are spectators. This is unfair. And rightfully so, he points out, why is it in Africa when there is elections, there's always this type of stories? There's always some bullying happening. They've been bullied as a smaller party, as a new party. They've been bullied. I mean, 30 years old, this is the type of political parties we need. A party that leads young people. We need this type of people. And he's not afraid to speak. Oppenheimer's about he's speaking the right language. For me, I like Mpho Dagada. I like that guy. I like his party. I like his party. So, let me play this video. Listen to it attentively. Listen to what Mpho is saying. Give him an ear and go in the comment section and tell us, what do you think? Do you think the elections of 2024 are really truly free, fair, and transparent for everyone? Or is it just the top dogs that are important? Because for me, I would have liked to see Mpho in parliament. For me personally, I would like to see Mpho. In fact, Mpho is in my top 10 best politicians in South Africa. He's somewhere number 8, tied with someone. I can't remember. I did a list about the top 10 best politicians in South Africa some time ago. I think a month ago. You know, for me, he's there. He's there. He's there. I like his energy. I like his youthfulness. I like his creativity. I like his spiritual standing. I like whatever Mpho is doing. I like it. You understand? Of course, we might politically ideologically disagree on some matters. I'm a Pan-Africanist. You know, I'm going to clash with almost every politician. Mina, I know that. So listen to this. Click the like button. Hit the subscribe button, please. I'm begging you, so that we can get to the 30,000 subscribers before the elections. And then also leave your thoughts on the comment section. Let me hear what you're saying about Mpho Dagada. Wow. So passionate. So passionate. So, hey guys, let's listen to Mpho Dagada, the youngest presidential hopeful in South Africa, only 29 years old, turning 30 this year. Born in 1994. I mean, this is a beautiful story to tell for him to have been in parliament. It's heartbreaking. Peace in Pan-Africanism, guys. Peace in Pan-Africanism.
Understand and go through the justice process, informing us of this without even giving us reasons, and we have to wait and still think of reasons. I mean, by now we should know what are the reasons so that we understand. Are we going to the Constitutional Court, or what are these reasons? We still don't know the reasons. Where we are sitting, we don't know when these reasons will be given to us. We were just seeing yesterday morning, we're just being told to say that the ballot papers are already being printed. So you might as well figure out that they're being printed. It means that you won't be there. And today, when we are asking questions, we're now being told, oh, on all 5 matters, you're all dismissed. We find this to be very disheartening, especially because citizens did the right thing. Arise South Africa submitted 750,000 before the cutoff date. We submitted enough signatures before the cutoff date. We submitted our national list and our provincial list before the cutoff date. Even the regional list on our side, we submitted it. And even till date, we are still having to go to court, whereas it's a time we're supposed to be campaigning. It's a time where we're supposed to be on the ground, ensuring that our systems are working, ensuring that we have posters out there. Instead, we are spending money to go to court. I mean, going to court at this level, you are dealing with senior advocates. We are talking in the millions in terms of fees. What is going on is very unfortunate, that we've got a political party where people collected signatures and are waiting to see them on the national ballot. But instead, we need to be scraping whatever funds we've got to do our posters, to be going out there and campaigning. Whatever funds we've got, we had to use them on this court case. And even now, at this point where we are, the court is not even giving us enough reasons as to what is going on so that we can figure things out and understand what we need to do to appeal. Many people told us when we started this political journey that politics is not the cleanest game. And we said, we believe in South Africa, we believe in the courts, and we believe that it's time for change. But where we are, we have exhausted our options. We were quiet when these things were happening. We went to the court. We went out there and we informed everybody of what is going on. But we are at the point right now that as a country, you've got over 60,000 people that signed signatures, that gave their identification. By the way, we had over 100,000 people that actually signed the documents. It's just that as the time went by, some of them, the IDs were not correct, etc. But out of that, over 60,000 of them were correct. So how do you have over 100,000 people in our nation wanting a political party to be on the ballot paper, yet the political party has done everything needed to do, and now we must go through the courts on the eve of the election, when we are supposed to be campaigning a new political party? For us, we find this to be very discouraging, especially to young people. I myself, as the president, I'm 30 years old. I am the youngest presidential candidate that this country has ever seen. And for the youngest presidential candidate who's standing up for the truth, to have to go to the courts and beg and try and find answers. And every time throughout this process, by the way, every time we've sought answers from the IEC, they've replied to us late or they've ignored us. Every single time, we told the court to say every single time we had to speak to the IEC, it was a struggle. They either ignored us or they didn't reply to us. When we marched to the IEC, they ignored us the whole day. There are many people that might not want to see us on the ballot paper, but there are people that do want to see us on the ballot paper. And those that want to see us on the ballot paper, they went as far as giving us their ID numbers. They went as far as giving us their signatures. What are we now supposed to say when their ID numbers and their signatures and their voices are not going to be heard on the national ballot? And it's important. I need everybody to be clear, because some people have been saying to us that, but Arise South Africa, you're on the 9 provincial ballots. You're going to be on the ballot paper. You should be grateful because you're a new political party. Other parties didn't make it. It's not about that. It's about the fact that the voice of the people wanted us to be on the national and the provincial ballot. Why is it now that we are only on the provincial ballot? Why is it now that we are still having to wait on the eve of the election, already knowing that ballot papers are being printed and being told that they are being shipped to warehouses where they are going to be kept for safety, and still not knowing the outcomes of what is going on? Where we are at the moment, for us, we are not going to give up. And I think this is an important message that we need to take out there, because those that are trying to keep us down think that by insulting us, they think that by causing us to go through all these loopholes to be able to fight for justice in this country, that we are going to get tired, that we are going to run out of money, of which we have, that they are going to frustrate us to the point where we give up and leave politics to those that have been doing it for years and leave the country in their hands. We have a clear message for all our detractors to say we are not going to give up. Where we are going to meet as leaders of Arise South Africa, and we are going to meet with all the other political parties that are also aggrieved to say we have to do something. If it means going to the Constitutional Court, we'll have to go to the Constitutional Court. The one thing we can never allow to happen is watch our country deteriorate and have an opportunity to change things through an election and sit down and give up. We cannot, and unfortunately will not allow that. We will need to ensure that we exhaust every single option that is out there to ensure that the voice of the people can be heard. It is the people that want Arise South Africa on the ballot paper. If it was not so, if we had not paid the 750,000, then maybe we could say that the people were not interested in having Arise South Africa on the ballot paper. But you saw it on yourselves every day when we came on these lives, that the people dug in their pockets and paid so Arise South Africa can be on the ballot paper. If it was maybe to say that we didn't have enough signatures, maybe we didn't collect enough signatures, we'd understand, because that means that the people don't want to vote for Arise South Africa. But the people of South Africa went out there and to have Arise South Africa on the ballot paper. There have been many attempts to silence us. Recently, I was informed that there's prison, that they're trying to scare us by saying that you'll be arrested. What you are saying, you should stop saying it. We were told that we should stop speaking. We should stop using platforms like this to speak. And that's why I always say to you that whenever you watch these videos, share them. We need everybody to know about what is going on so that they don't silence us, so that they don't keep us under. The whole world must be aware of what is going on. This case must be known everywhere around the world to say on the eve of the election, a political party in South Africa that stood up for change is being taken out of the election. And all we are hearing is that it's an administrative error. It's not about the fact that they didn't pay for the election. It's not about the fact that they didn't have enough supporters. It's apparently an administration error. We can't sit down as citizens and take it. No. Enough is enough. We've taken enough as citizens. And the people of Arise South Africa have given us a mandate to say, we want to see Arise South Africa on the ballot paper. We want to vote for change. We want new leaders in our nation. We can't sit down and allow this to happen. For too long, Africa has suffered a bad governing system and a bad election system. We had people recently from other countries inform us that the election system in their country continues to suppress them. They don't want their voices to be heard. Recently in Zimbabwe, when they had elections, we heard rumors. We kept quiet. When Nigeria had elections, we had these issues. We kept quiet. As Africans, we can't keep quiet. It doesn't make sense that a political party that has done everything to be qualified in an election is being taken out. And they are saying that it's a technical thing that only they can prove on their side. We can't keep quiet. For how long will we allow in Africa for politics to be a thing of a select few where the voice of the people doesn't speak? Is it because we're not funded by the same people that fund all the other political parties? Is it because we refuse to take their money? What is the reason why we are not there? Because the voice of the people was clear when we handed in the signatures. The voice of the people was clear when we paid the deposit. We can't lose this election based on a technicality that nobody can ever prove. That even we on ourselves don't know what is going on. All we are hearing is that you will hear the reasons later. Where have you ever heard in the eve of the election where a political party gets taken out and this is the judgment? And I want people to see it. Because when we speak, when we keep quiet, people usually say to us that where's the proof? Reasons for these orders are to follow very shortly. Well, now it's already close to 6 o'clock. The reasons are nowhere. When are we going to get them? Is it after the elections that we'll be told why we weren't able to participate in the elections? I want to end it off by this, to say we're not asking people, we're not asking for people to feel sorry for us or do this on the other. All we are asking is that the 60,000 people, their ID numbers that we handed in at the IEC, that they confirmed receipt of, the 750,000 that South Africans paid, we are asking that that is what it gets them to do, because they wanted the ballot paper to represent Arise South Africa. And we're asking that that's the case. And those that are saying to us that we should be grateful because we are on all 9 provinces, we are still on the provincial ballot, that's not what the people have asked us to go and do. We can't allow a ploy where we have a national government that is not a representation of the provincial governments. We need to ensure that there is justice in our land. So we are going to apply everything, and we appeal to those that are out there, those in the legal fraternity, professors out there, the scholars out there, those that have studied the legal profession. We appeal to you and ask you at a time like this to say, please don't keep quiet and watch as our justice system, especially when it comes to elections, goes in the direction it's going in. We plead with you to say now is not a time for you to keep quiet or pick sides. We ask for you to assess what is going on with us and assist us. And we ask for those organizations that stand for justice to say now is not a time to watch us go through this on the eve of the election. We ask for your support. We appeal to you out there to say assist us in what is going on. We want to ensure that there is justice for every single person who wants to vote for Arise South Africa. I'm going to end it here before I go overboard or get emotional about this matter. But we can't be a continent that is known that every time there is elections in Africa, there are always issues. We can't be a continent that is known that every time there's elections in Africa, they'll always rig the elections. They'll steal the elections. We can't be a continent where when young voices rise up and they want to see change in the nation, we get things like this that are thrown at them to keep them off the ballot paper. We can't allow this to happen. The only political parties that are currently represented on the ballot paper, they are all funded by the same people. It's the same people that funded the apartheid government. They funded those political parties on the ballot paper. We were the only political party that's there that's not funded by this white monopoly capital that we know. And to remove us on the eve of the election is completely unacceptable. I want to say this before the end. To say the one thing we're sure about is that there is a God in Africa. And the one thing we're sure about is that the tears of every African have cried for far too long. That Africans have suffered for far too long, and we kept quiet about it. We are not going to keep quiet this time around. We are going to take this to the highest places and ensure that the whole world knows about what is going on until answers can come out. Until the world can know of what is going on in South Africa on the eve of the election.